What is going on, Forever Flame Racing Reviews? I'm back with day 7 of May. We're getting closer to Indy. It's a good day because it's the month of May. And we're getting really close to the Indy GP, which will kick the whole month of May truly off, because I'm going to say Barber does not count as a month of May race. Tomorrow's video will be my Indy GP preview, so stay tuned for that. And today we're going to be talking about the changes INDYCAR should make. And these aren't going to be just the little changes, this, and that. I'm talking about the major changes. I'm talking about the major changes I want to see INDYCAR make. That is what we are going to talk about in today's video. The major changes I personally would like to see INDYCAR make. If I am in Doug Bull's position, or most importantly, Roger Penske's position, these are the changes I'd make. Now, I get that these may not be possible, but I think if you make these changes, INDYCAR is in a much different spot, personally. I mean, if I could go back in time, I'd prevent the split. That's actually something that'd really be interesting, that I'd love to see. If you could, somehow alter time, make the split never happen. But now I'm getting off topic. That would be interesting, though. That might be actually a future video. What if the INDYCAR split never happened? That could, become a fascinating topic. But my first thing I'd do, this is real simple. This is the most simple and, honestly, my personal opinion, realistic one out of all these. Add a Constructors' Championship. You have to add a Constructors' Championship. I think adding a Constructors' Championship brings so much more to the championship. And I get they don't do it because some teams have 2 cars, some teams have 3. Well, the reality is the teams with 3 cars are Penske, Ganassi, McLaren, Andretti, and Rahal. Rahal is not on the level of those 4 teams. The only teams that have a shot at the Constructors' Championship is Ganassi, Penske, McLaren, and Andretti. So it doesn't change anything, in my opinion. I think maybe where it changes something is maybe Rahal have a free 5th place. I don't really know. But I guess for the teams that run 2 cars, like Meyer Shank, AJ Foyt, Prema, Humkos, teams like that, I think that maybe they're mad, but hey, if you want a shot at the Constructors' Championship, buy a 3rd charter. Another thing another thing I would do if I owned INDYCAR, I'm giving Prema 2 charters. I want 27 charters. Prema deserves a charter, in my opinion. Give them a charter. That's all I have to say. Give Prema a charter. I think adding Constructors' Championship does a lot. I'm actually going to show you this video. My friend actually made this. So here is this. It's the Constructors' Championship, and it's divided by the cars they have. So Ganassi's points is divided by 3, and Carpenter Racing's points is divided by 2. And it's divided by the amount of drivers they have with the points they've scored, and that would what the championship standing would be. That's a really good idea and a fair idea. So if Ed Carpenter Racing maximizes their potential enough, they could be the Constructors' Champion. So let me know in the comments down below if you like this idea, where you divide the number of cars you have by the points you score, or if you like how F1 does it, where you finish and the points you score is how much goes to your team total, and it doesn't really matter because Rahal sucks, and they're going to be competing off the 2-car teams, and the top 4 teams with 3 cars will fight for the Constructors' Championship. Because even if you had, let's say, a 26-car field with every team owning 2 cars, so 13 teams, it would still be McLaren, Andretti, Penske, and Ganassi fighting for the championship. It doesn't change anything. That's just my opinion. Add the Constructors' Championship. My second one, this is the most, I'm going to go in realistic to unrealistic out of these. I mean, Prema getting a charters is probably more realistic than the Constructors' Championship. But the next one is a video game. You have to get a video game if you're INDYCAR. Now, I understand that this one's happened. Yeah, I mean, it's right here. Look, the INDYCAR video game literally was happening. It was so close to happening. It's just the company that INDYCAR was working with basically bailed out last minute. I've heard that game was 85 to 90% complete. Just if you take that they made, sell it to EA Sports, get up with the new tracks. Well, there's not many new tracks, but there's some new tracks, new teams, new drivers, new car liveries, stuff like that. Implement into the game, and we can have a game by 2026. I think INDYCAR could have a video game by think about it, INDYCAR 26. It would be so dope. INDYCAR 26. It could happen. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think INDYCAR 27 is a possibility. I think INDYCAR 27 is a real possibility. I think INDYCAR 28 is an even more possibility. I think 26 is a bit much. I think 27 or 28 is our year. I'm leaning more towards 27, but maybe that's just me being hopeful. But I think a video game is very likely, and a video game is something you need to get done. How many people own the F1 game but don't watch F1? I can tell you, I know 3 people that own the F1 game but don't watch F1. People buy video games. That's how you know the drivers' names. I'm just saying. Get a video game, you get more fans that will probably only watch the Indy 500 with 2 or 3 other races a year. But still, you have casual fans. IndyCar needs casual fans. F1 gets more TV numbers because they have more casual fans. Get more casual fans. I think a video game helps with that. The next most possibility is 20 races. F1 and NASCAR do too many races. IndyCar does too little. You need to have about 20 races, and I think that's very realistic. You don't take anything off the calendar. You're obviously adding Arlington. You're probably going to add that street race in Colorado, and you go to Michigan. Boom. But we also need to go to Mexico. Honestly, drop thermal. Replace thermal with Mexico. We need to go back to the super speedway. Honestly, maybe we don't keep it because there's some races in the schedule that flat out suck. Maybe we drop Iowa because they repaved half that circuit, and we don't think they're going to repave that anytime soon. So maybe drop Iowa with an actual good circuit. I think maybe that's what we should be considering. So there's a lot that IndyCar needs to fix with their schedule. There's only probably 13 races on that schedule that you could probably keep, and then add some awesome tracks to hit 20. That's what they probably should do. I think 20 races is very achievable by 2027, 2028. We get the new car. It just depends if it's the 20 best tracks IndyCar could race at. I think it's going to be a long time before we get the 20 best tracks IndyCar should race at. If I could pick one track today to add to the IndyCar schedule, it'd be Michigan. That track would be epic. Replace the Michigan Superspeedway with the Michigan Street Circuit. So you literally go from the Indianapolis 500 to Michigan Superspeedway, 2-mile oval. We go from 2.5. It'd be sick. Maybe Dry Reinbold competes that weekend. Who knows? I think it'd be super cool, and I'd be all for it. Wow, this is going to be a long video. So, okay, I've talked a new car. Obviously, we know a new car is coming. That's coming probably in 2027. There's not much to speak on it. We need a new car. A new car helps. But what I think we could do with the new car is have two, companies, or they're not yet, 2 companies supplying the cars. So we obviously have Dallara as a chassis maker. How about we bring Cosworth back? Cosworth used to make all kinds of Indy cars, all kinds of race cars. They're still making race cars, but why not have 27 cars and you have 14 of them as Dallara and 13 as Cosworth? That would be super, super cool in my opinion. Is it possible? Honestly, probably not, but it could happen. And add a third manufacturer. I think if you add a second person to make your chassis and you add a third manufacturer, I think it'd be cool. Say you add Toyota. You have Honda, Chevy, Toyota with Dallara and Cosworth. Pick your combination. Let's say Penske goes Dallara, Chevy, they don't change. Okay, boring. Let's say Ganassi goes Dallara, Honda. Okay, don't change. Boring. Let's say Andretti goes Chevy, Cosworth, and McLaren goes Chevy, Cosworth, and Rahal goes Toyota and Cosworth, and obviously Foyt and Meyer Shank will go with whatever Penske and Ganassi went with. But then I think you'd have to say Dale Coyne would probably go Toyota and Cosworth. They have nothing to lose. Humkos Hollinger, why not go Toyota, Cosworth? Prema, why not go Honda, Toyota? Why not definitely go Cosworth if you're Prema? I don't know if you switch your engine. At Carpenter Racing, why not also switch it up? I think if you add a third engine and a second chassis supplier, I think it just makes so much sense, and it would be so cool. Because, okay, Cosworth and Dallara, they can compete how Honda and Chevy do it. They have these very, very strict regulations, right, where you can build something by being these very strict regulations, so it can be a spec series. Even though people say IndyCar's a spec series, it's not. But make it to where you can pretty much make it a spec series, and you can fight how IndyCar is currently fighting. Imagine the IndyCar races staying as close as they can with 3 manufacturers and 2 chassis suppliers. It would literally be the greatest racing on earth. It'd be incredible. And you'd probably only have 2 or 3 teams with the same engine and chassis supplier. It'd be cool. That's what I want to see IndyCar change. Will it happen? Probably not. I'm just a fanboy dreaming. Thank you for watching day 7 of May, and see ya.